Private Parts.
With Howard Stern.
Yep.
Never seen it.
It's a good one.
It's cool.
I would like to talk about it at some point.
I've seen the scene where he makes the girl come with
the
speakers.
Blowing on the mic.
Yeah.
That's actually Ben's dream.
I wish I could come on the microphone. If it was that easy.
Ben's trying to find the perfect formula in Audacity to make her...
I'm trying to hit the white note.
The white note.
Somebody made a joke. It didn't make it to the cutting floor. I think somebody made like the green note. I can't remember what we were talking about.
I think I made the green note joke, but what were we talking about?
I don't know the context.
Was it like were we talking about throwing up or something? Or?
I don't think so. It's weird. I have no recollection. I just remember like laughing at the joke. It's like, it's a shame I can't put this anywhere.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright. Hey guys, welcome back to the Target Audience Podcast. This week we're talking about The Secret of Nimh. I'm joined with my two favorite co-hosts, Pierce.
You looked at TJ. You looked at TJ
Hold on, you can't even blame Ben for that because you just fucking waved.
I was gonna say hi. Well, I talked with my hand, so I was about to say hi, but then it was like a long pause, so I decided not to.
Oh, well, TJ's here
That's
too.
Pierce and with TJ.
Yeah.
You threw me off because you looked at TJ, so I expected you to see TJ's name.
We're gonna have to when I get the actual studio together, I'm gonna have like little like buzzer lights where I'm just like, and you're live.
No, that was good. This is actually a good fucked up intro.
All right, here we go.
You want me to do it again, Pierce?
Let's do it again.
Oh, you want to do it again? All right.
I'm just gonna go based off sound only.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to the Target Audience Podcast. This week we're talking The Secret of Nimh. I'm joined with my two favorite co-hosts, starting off with Pierce.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And TJ.
Hello, everyone.
Alright, now that we've done introductions, we're your favorite movie review podcast that you tune in for twice a week, every week. Follow us at tap_cast on Twitter and hit us up on Facebook and the website tap-cast.com. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Hit it all up front this time.
Yeah, there we go. Because we always forget, so I'm really glad. I was gonna like say something. They'd be like, "Oh, don't forget to do it," but then you didn't. You just did it.
Did we mention that we have a YouTube channel?
I fucking hope that's where they're listening to this at the moment.
That's what I'm saying too.
Oh, also we have a SoundCloud.
You have a SoundCloud that hasn't been updated in about 18 episodes.
Yeah, hold on, we
18 episodes.
It's been a while. I did it for like 3, and I got 2 clicks, and I was like, maybe I'm just not wasting my time with this.
We technically have a SoundCloud.
We do. If enough people express interest, I'm sure I could upload it to SoundCloud.
I feel like I was the only person interested in having it on SoundCloud because I like to listen to it and have my phone turned off, like so I didn't have to hold open YouTube.
Which is a good concern to have. However, to keep the audience in the loop, is that we're working on getting an RSS feed set up so that we can actually go on like the major podcasting networks, your iTunes, Spotify. Your Google Play Music, your Spotify's, all that stuff. It's just like maybe a couple weeks out down the path at the moment.
Each episode will be at a cool price of $39.99.
Yep, you can hit us up on Patreon. We only have a $500 tier right now, but it means that you get to come meet us.
Oh my god! But what if they live in like Europe?
They get to come meet us. Like, we're not fucking paying for that.
Okay, so they just get to know where we are.
Yeah, they can make their way to us.
We give them an address. That's what the $500 gets you. It gets you an address to where we live.
Yep, there we go.
It's just Ben's mom's
for years,
house.
what to do.
So for have.
Oh fuck.
Tampa, Florida 33610.
Holy shit! All right, right on.
You know that's not making it to the end. All
And
right.
If we're not home, call us at 813. I'm not gonna say your number.
Do you know my number?
I do.
By heart?
373.
Right on. Right on.
TJ looks so bothered by this.
That's just babbling because I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even sure. I don't even know one digit of your number.
I just know that because I always remember that yours was like one digit apart. Yours was just
True.
the next number.
Oh, cool.
Why'd you memorize Jared's?
Because when I was in elementary school, I didn't have a cell phone, so I had to use my home phone. So if I wanted to hang out with Jared, I would call his
Jared's
cell
had
phone.
that same phone number?
Since
For a
elementary
while.
school. Since he was like in 3rd grade, he's
wow.
had that phone number.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It's been a while.
So, yeah, so that's how I
I think there's so many
call
people
Jared.
I probably just used to accidentally give him Jared's number because mine was one digit up.
I
possibility.
memorized Bailey's number, my mom's number, and like Jared's number because I didn't have a cell phone for the longest time until I was
My
like in 8th
mom's,
grade.
and that's about it. Mine, I'm not even like 100% confident whenever I have to give it.
Oh, I have someone ask you on the spot, what's your number?
Yeah.
My mom's had the same phone number for like ever.
Yeah, mom's had the same one for a while. I've changed my number a couple times over the years.
I have
Sean,
not, I've had the
I hope
same
people
number.
have not been trying to contact me.
Sean's
I've
is
had the same
actually
one since 8th
I doubt
grade.
it.
Sean's is one digit off of my mom's,
Oh.
and it actually used to be my dad's number. when they were
Interesting.
together. Do you remember your old home phone number? No.
I just
I do.
recently remembered it. It was the weirdest thing. I haven't thought about my home phone number, but then I was on the phone and someone had a similar number to my home phone number. And then I just remembered it was like 813-643-5011.
I think mine ended with 5069, but I couldn't tell you what the first three are. All right, well, now I'm glad we talked about our childhood phone numbers.
For a long
we're going to talk about something else from our...
I made a song.
We're going to talk about something else from our childhood.
childhood.
Now that we've talked about our phone numbers, we're going to talk about something else from our childhood.
The Secret of
Nimh, which is a story about a young little lady mouse who wants to save her critically sick child. And she has to go on a crazy adventure to save her
Tiny
home
Tim.
and family.
I thought it was about Brisby, who wanted to save her sick child with pneumonia, and she has to go on a crazy excursion.
Thanks for giving about 10% more detail than my overview.
And then he said excursion instead of adventure.
Yeah.
I like that.
Did you know it was actually Miss Frisbee in the book, but they had to change the name for the
Really?
theatrical
Because the
release
toy.
because the toy they
Until
didn't
it
want.
came out and was patented.
They wanted to avoid legal issues.
I did not know that.
I think Brisbee works better.
I think so.
Yeah.
It sounds more animal-like. Because I think of
Didn't
Brigsby
get that.
Bear. Brigsby Bear.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So
That's the only reason it sounds animal-like, because there's a character, Brigsby Bear.
Brixby Bear. What's it from?
The movie Brigsby Bear.
Okay.
It's a Kyle Mooney movie. It came out like a couple of years ago.
Brixby Bear.
It's actually a
Are you
pretty
sure
good
it's
movie.
not Paddington?
No, it's Brigsby Bear. It's not what you think it is. Mark Hamill's in it.
Oh, I know this movie. I never saw it.
This is the one where it's like that really... There's that funny little clip where it's like...
The dude's obsessed with a childhood TV show, and like he ends up like.
And it turns out that the childhood TV show doesn't exist. It was just only
Yeah.
made for him.
And it's like, we all die one day.
Yeah.
It's some,
It was like a-
funny little... Oh, God.
It was all like a really like
Wasn't like Mark Hamill in it?
yeah. Mark Hamill's in
Yeah.
it. He plays the kidnapping dad.
Cool.
Gotcha. All right, so
It's a good movie. It's not the best movie, but it's like a nice little indie comedy.
All right,
And
I
I like
stumble across it
I like
at some
Kyle
point.
Mooney a lot from his YouTube, not really from SNL.
Speaking of movies, what do you think of Secret of Nimh?
We're never going to talk about this movie. I really like Secret of Nimh. I think it holds up. I don't think it's particularly deep, and I think it's got some weird pacing problems.
Mm.
But it's also not that long of a movie, so the pacing problems aren't really a problem.
Well, no, I think they tried to cram too much into too little of a movie.
Oh yeah, you're right. It does act like actually.
Like,
the more
I
think
feel
about
like...
Honestly,
does
I
cram-
didn't think it had that.
a lot does happen, but to me, it didn't have like I didn't deem it as a problem.
Well, I think they could have built up a lot of the back half of the movie.
like what do you like?
Are you talking about the whole plot to kill?
Okay, so...
Yeah,
Oh,
we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit.
So the movie starts with Miss Brisby. She's going to go visit like this super intelligent rat who lives in the middle of the like.
I thought he was also a mouse.
You're right. He is actually a mouse. He's a mouse.
The
And
most annoying mouse.
She's visiting Mr. Dr. Mouse in the swamp,
Yeah.
and
Mr. Dr.
and
Mouse.
he's doing some like science experiments down in like some wreckage.
in hopes to conjure up something to like help her sick child.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, let me make her this medicine," and she's like,
So
"Oh,
she didn't get out of my fucking
thank
face.
you."
'cause
Yeah,
he
it's
hated
pretty much.
me.
He's like, "I got better shit to do with my
He's like,
time."
get out of my face. Whatever. This medicine, it takes me 2 seconds to make.
Yeah.
I'm a genius.
And then she goes and takes the medicine, and he's like, "No matter what, you cannot move him." But she's like, "But no, we have to move because the farmer's going to be mowing down all the crops, and I don't want to get sucked into a compactor."
You know,
Yeah.
with that plot point in the movie, as a farmer, I would imagine that most farmers, when they're like mowing stuff down and they see little woodland creatures, that they're not just like, "Oh fuck yeah, extra points." And just
I don't think that's how they go, but I think a lot of animals happen to. They probably.
You're also
No,
not
but if
thinking
you-
about the animals like.
But if you're on
Right
a
there.
mower and you hit an animal, you know you hit an animal.
Not
'Cause
when it's a tractor that's that big. I don't think a mouse is going to be like.
Yeah, no
Okay,
one's
no,
gonna-
but
You hit
there's-
rocks bigger.
There's
than
like
that.
the bunnies. Those are like bunnies are pretty big.
Yeah, probably. But he also sees them all
They
running
had the
away.
whole-
He wasn't expecting one to go on a suicide mission to save her son.
No, I know, but they're like. I mean, I get why they're scared of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like a farmer in real life would stop and like let them kind of move their shit first.
All the farmers, let us know down in the comments whether you run over the woodland critters or if you let them go.
Because
Also-
that's gotta fuck up your mower if you got a bunch of bunny
on.
guts just.
That's
Nah,
where
it can't be. They're running over grass and stuff.
That's where
Like,
you-
a
that's-
dirt clod is easily just the same as a mouse body.
You ever
that's-
hit like a stick with a mower? It's the loudest noise ever.
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
Imagine a squealing bunny.
We probably wouldn't school very long.
Plus bones and fur.
Do you know how loud one of these,
meat?
like...
I think you're underestimating
Field
how
machines
strong
are.
those tillers are.
Yeah, they're super strong.
They're really strong. I don't want to look it up on YouTube to prove it.
No.
I don't want
I don't want to know
But
the
also,
answer to this.
also, you draw... That's the plot hole you draw the line on. Like, not like... Can you imagine being a farmer and, like, walking through, like, where you just did, and then you find things like little tiny mouse swords?
Yeah.
Things like that. Because, man, are some of these mice skilled with swords.
They are. And the rats have a whole, like, fucking...
Can you imagine finding, like, little
monarchy
clothing?
or something?
Like, I just found this little cloak.
Yeah. So
I found a little cloak and
okay, so
dagger.
the farmer's gonna be coming. They gotta get the medicine to the sick kid, and then she runs into like a goofy crow who collects string and
Best character, Goofy Crow.
I like Jeremy the Crow.
I think he sounded like a New Yorker Jew.
you
Well,
know if he wasn't there, nothing in the movie changes.
Exactly.
He was
comic
just
relief.
there to pep spirits up.
He's what made it a kids movie. Other than that,
Okay.
like what the fuck else?
Yeah.
Would,
And he-
would a
I think
kid
they
want to
wasted
see in
time
that
on
movie?
his development.
No, and he kind of
He
helps.
gets a girl at the end. That's his character arc.
He also brings rope.
Yeah, he's not there for the climax of the film where his whole purpose was go get string, and then all of a sudden all the string snaps on the big mechanical thing that's lifting the
Yeah.
house
Well,
out
the
of
thing
the
they
muck.
needed from him.
And the one thing they needed, and he shows up after the fact,
Hold on.
and like Miss Brisby's like, "What the fuck, dude?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, that's why you needed the string to save your family from
He
drowning."
talks about the importance of love and being yourself.
Where does that fit into the message of everything else going on in the story?
It doesn't.
It
I just
doesn't.
liked him.
It's just kind of cool.
He's
I
just
like
a
Jeremy
nice
the Crow
guy.
wasn't needed.
Yeah, I like his like I'm allergic to cats.
Well, that's why he was needed. He was a plot device.
He was a plot
Oh,
device
and hold
early
on,
in the
he
movie
did-
to save
no.
her.
Plot device
Hold
twice.
on, twice. He did fly her.
3 times.
And
And he
keep-
did
You
the
don't,
cat
you don't
thing.
think they
He
could have
did-
told the story in a different way that didn't include that character?
Yeah, they could have just had a mouse that was allergic to cats. Like just like one of her kids was allergic to cats,
Or she could have just been like, "There's a cat."
or the main character could have been allergic to cats.
I don't think anybody needed to be allergic to cats.
Well, no,
I think
but
it
they-
could have just been like, "Oh shit, cat came."
No, but they don't need to be. But obviously, the writer wanted that kind of device in the story.
I just like
feel
like
it's almost like an
it was
alarm.
comic
It's almost
relief.
like an alarm.
I feel like
for
he was
the-
more important in the book, and they had to include him in the movie.
Yeah, but-
even though I think they cut out a lot of shit with Jeremy.
Yeah, but I liked
Yeah,
him.
well, the movie's only an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I know. The movie wastes time on shit like that rather than building actual character development for people who have crucial interactions that they wedge into 20 minutes
You know,
at the end.
you opened up with you like this movie, but
I
it doesn't
do.
sound like you
No,
like
I
it.
just think it has issues, and you guys are like latching
I
on to
really
the
like
worst
it.
parts of the movie. I want to know more about rat civilization. I want to know because, like, okay, so they got the
It
captain.
does open up with
It does, but then they cram in all the Nimh stuff into the very end
later
of the
on.
movie.
Yeah.
The very end of the
They
movie.
mention National Institute of Mental Health, and then they don't
Yes.
come back to it till like the back.
Yeah, the only
very
thing in the
far
beginning
end
of the movie that it brushes on is when the humans are like, "Hey, that Nimh place called."
Yeah.
And they want to know if the rats
you've
are
seen
acting
any rats.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
then,
it.
And then they're like, "Oh, they want to know if it's okay if we kill all
The
these
main
rats."
the main part of the movie is the mom trying to get Timmy
Get the
to
medicine.
feel better. Yeah.
And then throughout the movie, there's this this oracle kind of like wise sage rat.
Wait,
Who's
thought
kinda
was
like-
going to be a bad
Isn't it-
guy based on his character
What's his name?
design.
Necrodamus or something?
No, Nicodemus.
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 Okay.
And he's like this like weird
Necrodamus.
he's like this weird techno science rat.
Yeah.
He's like super old and decrepit, and he looks like a necromancer.
He looks really cool.
Yeah.
But like, he just looks like he should have been a bad guy.
He should have been.
But I like that he wasn't. I thought that
He was
'cause
just
I was like, ooh,
he
this.
was an old Don Bluth sage.
I was just like, this spooky guy is gonna do something bad.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, I really want to see that mouse. He's like,
Yeah. And then they fuck around for the better part of 40 minutes, not really doing much with the plot.
Just more or less
hijinks
an
with, like,
exercise
the
in
little
animation, really.
Yeah.
Like they
and
get to
then-
go explore different creative areas of the
that
cave.
kind of reflects
and-
the whole story behind it.
Yeah,
'cause
so
he left
basically,
Disney
like,
to make this movie.
yeah. So they fuck around and there's like, we need medicine. And it's like, how are we gonna move the house? And then they're like, I don't know, you should go ask the Great Owl. And then they fly to the Great Owl, and the Great Owl is like, I normally eat mice. But then he's like, but wait, you married Brisby, Mr. Brisby the rat?
Jonathan Brisby?
Yeah,
Jonathan
Brisby.
Joestar?
And everybody's like, Jonathan Brisby, oh my god, he's such a hero. And you don't know shit about him for most of the movie.
But you know he was
Yeah.
a badass.
he was a
You
great
just know,
man.
Just know he's the best guy.
Yeah, and then the owl's like, go check out the rats, dude. They'll figure it out. I'm not gonna eat you, peace.
They're
And
gonna
then he
treat
fucks
you-
off, and then they go to the rats who they knew already were the solution to their problem.
Why did they go to the Great Owl? Oh, because someone told them to go to the Great Owl.
Yeah.
Who told them to go to the Great Owl?
It was the doctor
Yeah,
rat.
Dr.
I believe.
Mouse.
Yeah, because they go back to the Dr. Mouse again. when they find out, oh, the Taylor's coming. And like, there's just a lot of back and forth for no reason to end up getting to the rats. And then they get to the rats and it's like, yo, there's this cool rat civilization going on. And there's a civil war that's like right on the cusp between the rats who want to stay in the Rose Bush and the ones who want to go to Thorn Valley so that they can, not be thieves and they want to create their own society where they're not leeching off of the humans' technology.
Yeah, I guess I would agree with you there. There didn't need to be 2 visits to Dr. Mice.
Yeah, it's just like, there's a lot of back and forth. There's just nothing going on. And then it's like they set up, it's like...
And then everything happens at once.
And then there's the whole, like, it was almost a subplot in the back burner of, like, they just decided to throw it in at the end of, like, let's overthrow... Like, the evil guy.
Fucking what's his name?
I forgot his name.
Jenner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jenner, the evil rats, like, I'm going to overthrow Nicodemus. I'm going to use this as a chance to power grab while we're pulling this house out of the muck that the little kid mice are in.
Yeah,
this is
the perfect time to frame an accident.
Yeah, first time to frame an accident. And then they get in a fight, and then the heroic rat man, Jeremy...
Fights him. That's not Jeremy. Jeremy's the crow.
Jeremy's the crow. Who the fuck is the... Justin?
It was Justin.
I don't know.
Peter Strauss.
And then they fight, and the good guy wins, and the bad rat, who you've known for about 10 minutes, dies, and Nicodemus gets crushed to death, and everybody feels bad.
Okay, but he does a pretty badass way. He just gets a throwing knife.
He gets the hit in the back.
That was cool.
Somebody chucks a throwing knife.
But I feel like they didn't build up those characters and their relationships in that coup.
Yeah.
It was just all in the end. It was just all in the end. All the good stuff about the story is just jam-packed in, and you get the story about how Mr. Brisby was a badass and he helped them escape Nimh because they all got shot full of magic juice.
Well, I guess the first part of the movie is just a goofy kids movie, and then the back half is like where it gets very Watership Down-esque. Like, shit gets real.
That doesn't justify it.
No, it's fun.
You make a kids movie, or you make a story, or you want to tell the story. You can't fucking... Or divide the two.
You can do both at the same time, though, not divide it into two parts.
You're saying it could have been, like, structured a little bit.
It was just poorly structured. It wastes a lot of time in the front half, and then you get to the real interesting stuff, and then it's over.
Yeah, I guess I could...
They even do, like, a time skip, where it's like, oh yeah, then all the rats went off to Thorn Valley, and we never see them again. Bye.
Why didn't you show Thorn Valley? I was kind of pissed they didn't show Thorn Valley. I wanted to see what Thorn Valley was.
And then all the family's better, and then you see that... little baby Timmy, he's better now.
One less Thorn Valley.
He does not have the pneumonias.
Metaphor.
No, I did like the whole, like, the one kid that was like, I ain't afraid of nothing, like the little angsty one. Was it Martin?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that was his name. Yeah, and like every time the aunt came by, he was just like, oh no,
Annie Shrew.
Yeah, it was just really funny to me. Like, especially at the ending when they're like, not Annie Shrew, and the kid's like, oh man.
Yeah. That's and those characters, even her other children, didn't need to be in this movie. They don't impact the plot in any way.
Yeah, just except it puts them in peril.
But the thing is, they could have just had one child and it'd be the sick one. She didn't need 3 other kids that are just there to, like, eat up screen time.
Yeah, it's true. That's what they did.
Again, movie's got problems. I still like it.
It's got good animation.
It has great animation. It's not blue. You watch it because it's fucking
Actually, I love the animation, like since the main characters are mice and rodents and, like, like animals like that. The scale of it, like, for example, like how everything's huge to them, like the flowers.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's really great world building.
And the dewdrops on the grass and everything's shining and, like, glistening. Like,
I like that
stuff. I think the movie is more of a visual thing than a substance thing in terms of, like you said, you watch this movie for that kind of animation.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean they couldn't have done better.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying is, like, it is great visually, like, regardless of it. It's super nice. It's one of my favorite aesthetics of the movie.
And it gets pretty crazy. I mean, there's, like, the whole sword fighting, and 2 of their political leaders die on the same day. That's like if the Democratic candidate and the Republican candidate both get assassinated.
And then the captain of the guard takes over and then leads them to prosperity.
It was just a nice movie.
Yeah. I think I probably should just read the book.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm that interested in the story to read the book.
I want to know more about the world of Nimh.
I want to know more about...
I don't give a fuck about Jeremy the Crow. I don't give a fuck about him.
You're going to find out that, like, in the
Jeremy
book...
the Crow's the lead. Yeah. It's like Game of Thrones where it changes perspectives every chapter and Jeremy's half the book.
Jeremy's actually...
Just him trying to get some crow pussy.
Jeremy was the main character. They rewrote it for the movie.
Mrs. Frisbee dies in the first chapter.
She never makes it.
Jeremy has to adopt a family of mice.
And Jeremy has to save Timmy.
Yeah. And then they all die because he gets distracted with string.
And pussy.
I don't know. It's just, I think it had problems. Yeah. Narratively,
but there's nothing outright offensive about the movie. It doesn't piss you off when you watch it.
Do you still deem it a classic one for children to watch?
Yes, I would definitely...
Like, the whole reason this movie came out...
Out of the hundreds of children movies, it's a middle-ranked one now.
I would
unless the kid has an appreciation for animation,
I would still
not that great.
I would still deem it a classic.
Well, I would just see if it's a classic just for its kind of the history behind the movie.
It's a C+.
Because it was like one of the few movies... It got an Oscar, I think.
Maybe.
And I think it won Best Animated, and it wasn't a Disney movie, so that was kind of a big deal for the Oscars to not give Disney their mandatory Oscar, basically.
Right.
Let's see. Where is this?
And I like stories about Disney getting their ass handed to them because Disney is a big, giant, evil corporation. But I still like their stuff. They got some pretty great stuff. I mean, the theme parks are pretty fun. They're doing a whole Spider-Man thing in Disney, California.
Are they?
Yeah, it's going to be like an interactive experience that uses like practical effects, apparently.
Kind of like Islands of Adventure.
This sounds cool.
Yeah.
It says it was going to use practical effects, so I think it's more like real life interaction stuff, like with actors.
Like a stage show.
Because it's called like Web.
It's Turn Out the Dark too.
Worldwide Engineering something, I forgot.
What was the name of the Broadway play? Turn Out the Night.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Was?
Yeah, the one where they had like 40 actors like break their backs.
Yeah, because there's like too many people.
Yeah. No, because it's just horribly unsafe.
The stunts. Yeah.
Remember in Arrested Development, the more Spider-Man where they have 20 actors swinging as Spider-Man in the play.
I don't remember that one.
And Tobias like auditions for it.
I remember that.
It's been a long time since I've watched the original Arrested Development, and even longer since I watched the newer stuff.
Even longer.
I haven't watched the last season.
Yeah, I never watched the last.
It's better than the fourth one.
Oh, okay.
It's not great, but it's better than the fourth one. Still not on par with like the first three.
Let It Die. I think it was just they took too long.
Well, they haven't finished the fifth season, so I would like them to at least finish the fifth season so I can see what happens.
Just closure.
Yeah, because there was like a mid-season hiatus, I guess.
Oh, really? On Netflix?
On Netflix. So they haven't released the second half of season 5 yet, but it's supposed to be coming sometime this year.
All right, well, let it die after that.
I think after that they probably will.
It's like if they tried to bring it. It's just like I know I wanted more when it ended, but that doesn't. I think there's a shelf life when you try to revive a project. Before it just, I think it's too dead.
Yeah, you can.
What about the Rocko's Modern Life little short movie that they're gonna eventually release?
I think it's gonna be just too late. Too late.
Too late.
Yeah, regardless.
Same for the Hey Arnold movie they're working on.
Regardless, there'll always be that like
cult
following, nostalgic. Hey, look, it's Hey Arnold, but now, and like that'll be cool for like maybe a second.
I don't know. Bill and Ted 3 is gonna be terrible.
I hope they keep it.
I hope not. But,
no, I think Bill and Ted 3 is gonna have some redeemable qualities.
Zombie Bill and Ted. It's not gonna work. It's been too long.
Zombie Bill and Ted.
It's been too long.
Zombie Bill and Ted.
It was dead and they brought it back. It's an unholy creation.
Well, they have the original writer, and
so
also they have
Death is gonna be in it too.
The same guy who played Death in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because he's really busy.
Exactly. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I have no
idea.
He
really busy?
I don't know who that guy is.
Wasn't he in one of the Diehards?
Wow. He's in the first two Bill and Ted and one of the Diehards.
And when's the last
I bet he's booked solid for the next couple years, guys.
Okay, but it's
a real plus they got him back.
It's going to be. I know it's going to be at least somewhat enjoyable. It might not be the best thing ever.
Look, I don't think. I'm not saying it's going to be excellent, but I don't think it'll be bogus.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Secret of Nimh. Watch it for the animation, not for the story.
Watch it for Don Bluth's first great accomplishment.
That's lots of great accomplishments. Is that his first?
Yes, because he left Disney. He said, "Fuck you, Disney. I'm gonna make my own."
Yeah, but he made good shit for Disney.
Yeah, dude,
I'm talking about
you're
like
letting his bias against Disney get in the way of Don.
No, I don't have a bias against Disney.
It's not his first accomplishment.
Okay,
it's one of his many accomplishments. It's a big milestone in his career.
I would say that's his first it was
his first thing.
He's breaking off from Disney. I feel like not because Disney. He's working for himself at that point. It's like
it's not the first thing he's ever done, though.
I know it's not the first thing he's ever done, but I'm saying it's first accomplishment. I think it's his first. It's a big leap for him.
It was. It's an important milestone.
That's the. I guess the wording wasn't the best, but that's what I'm trying to say.
So watch it for that, kids.
Well, no, I wouldn't really recommend this to kids. Kids would get bored probably with this movie.
Nimh, I watched it when I was a kid.
No, I know.
Kids are stupid.
No, kids nowadays, they would get bored with this
They're
movie.
all high on Adderall and playing with those Angry Birds.
Yeah, they'd rather watch like Over the Hedge.
You gotta have to have a really crazy thing happening in kids movies nowadays. Visually.
I don't know what the kids like, I'll be honest.
What, Angry Birds emoji movie?
Exactly.
I don't even think they watched those.
Wreck-It Ralph 2?
Wreck-It Ralph 2.
I don't fucking know, man.
No,
I don't got kids.
The first Wreck-It Ralph. I was kind of a kid when that came out.
Brave Little Toaster.
All right, well, guys, we'll see you next week before we all kill each other.
Brave Little Toaster.
Kids aren't watching the Brave Little Toaster anymore. People only watched Brave Little Toaster when I was a kid.
I like how we both were like Brave Little Toaster.
I said that to let that sit with you, and I was like, I was gonna see if you just ended it there, or if you just couldn't let it go. You're like, hold the fucking on.
I bet Brave Little Toaster.
Brave Little Toaster scared me as a kid.
Oh,
Why did we think of that for Holds Up?
We could still potentially do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
I know, but I feel
Remember that fucking scene where the vacuum runs over his own cord?
Is that the part where that scared you?
Yeah, and also when the air conditioner just fucking dies.
Mm-hmm.
He dies a horrible death.
Yeah, he's just like he has like a wheezing coughing fit and he just dies.
It's like the cartoon representation of lung cancer.
Mm-hmm. And they're in that one scene where they're in the junkyard and all the cars are getting crushed to death.
And they're singing while they get crushed to death.
And they're in that like second hand shop and like all the like they're like the Island of Misfit toys and like all fucked up machines.
It's a fucking depressing movie. Jesus.
Yeah. You know, it's weird that Toy Story 4 chose to steal stuff from the Brave Little Toaster of all things. Don't they go to fucking Mars in the sequel?
Yeah, they do.
In the sequel to Brave Little Toaster?
Yeah. It's literally like Brave Little Toaster goes to Mars.
I've never seen
Toy Story 5, they go to Mars. I'm calling it.
Oh, Jesus.
I hope they don't make it Toy Story 5. I hope they're just done with Toy Story.
I was okay with them just stopping at 3.
I mean,
4 looks good, but I was okay with them ending it on 3.
Actually, I really like some of the things they're doing in 4, like the ventriloquist dummies, zombies. I think that's kind of creepy and cool.
But like, I think the story was over. I don't think you needed to.
Is
get
Toy Story
one.
4 from the trailer I've seen is
it looks fine?
Is it meant to be a kids movie anymore? Because like Sporky has an identity
I
crisis
think they're
and jumps out the window of an RV.
I think Disney's doing a thing where they're making it palatable for children so that the kids can go watch it. But I think it's really for that generation that grew up with Toy Story.
Gotcha.
That's why
and it's appealing to their sensibilities.
I have the ventriloquist zombie dummies.
Yeah.
You know, we need to watch that movie, A Kid Who Should Be King or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
No, you need to watch it. I'm not fucking
watching
it. I'd rather watch like
Ben
Light
and I
and
both
Thief,
saw
dude.
the trailer for the first time.
Like,
The same, we both said that looks fucking terrible. And then when it came out, I saw a bunch of people saying good things about it.
Who's a bunch of people?
I guess people on the internet, but you can't ever. That makes me sound stupid if like good people on the internet. So don't ask
You're not
me
gonna
that.
win this.
Don't ask me that. But where else do you get your opinions for movies from?
Target Audience Podcast.
We're people on the internet.
I'm staying out of this one. You children can fight.
Anyway,
Poop shoot.
it got good. It got good reviews. I hear there's a bunch of beheadings in it. I think it sounds like something that would actually be worth a watch.
Yeah.
Put it out there. You don't have to keep recording this part.
What if somebody just splices together ISIS beheading videos in that? Would it pique your interest?
Yeah, because
I've already seen it.
Sounds like a good movie. It's got a lot of beheadings.
Well, because it's not a movie I expected to have. It sounds like something like.
But now that you know there's beheadings, you're going into it expecting beheadings.
No, beheadings aren't literally what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a darker kids movie, like something from back in the day.
See, but now you're expecting that. You don't have the opportunity to be caught off guard.
Well, so I can still enjoy it either way.
Let us know.
I was expecting one of those
I'll tell you.
it looked like one of those like poorly adapted teen novel movies.
That's what I thought. I thought it looked like absolute trash.
Oh, it was like Percy Jackson, but worse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, literally got that vibe.
But I think it was Jack Packard from. Is he still do Red Letter Media stuff?
Yeah, he was just on the last episode. Well, not the newest one. There's Rocketeer episode that came out today. That dates it, but
he was the one. He's like, I saw him. He was like the first person I saw to say like really good things about it, saying that it was He was calling it an instant classic. I'm not even going far as to suggest that. He was calling it an
wasn't
instant
satirical?
classic. No. He's like, I took my kids to this movie. He's like, it was genuinely surprising. There was a lot of cool things that I wasn't expecting the movie to do. It didn't sound satirical. You could tell when something's satirical.
Maybe.
I'm not.
I'm putting it in the maybe category. You watch it.
How about I watch it and I'll let you know.
Yes.
I'll watch it and I'll let you know.
You be the filter.
I'll be the filter.
There you go.
All right, that's it for Secret of Nimh.